Alabama's defensive coordinator Kane Wommak talks about the challenge of stopping Georgia's run game. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again to talk about the matchup between my Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs this upcoming Saturday. I'm also talk about defense coordinator Kane Wommak's thoughts on stopping Georgia's run game. Now, if you want to read this article, you can just go to Touchdown Alabama. Okay. Kane Wommak explains why stopping Georgia's run game will be a tough challenge. Yes, it will be a tough challenge. Georgia has been running for over 150 yards per game this season, closer to 200 yards in each game. Okay. Matter of fact, I think one game they ran closer to 300 yards. So the run game is working for these Georgia Bulldogs. This offensive line has been opening up running lanes, even though they have issues on that right side of the line in pass protection. But they are doing a real good job in opening up running lanes. And these backs for Georgia, they've been doing a hell of a job. Okay, but let's see what Kane Wommak had to say. But at first, the Crimson Tide are preparing for a gritty Bulldogs rushing attack, and the Tide's defensive coordinator Kane Wommak believe Alabama will be seeing a healthy dose of Georgia's bread and butter on Saturday, adding that the Crimson Tide run fits have to be better than they have recently. No shit, Sherlock. No shit. After what we seen against Florida State, yeah, we most definitely going to have to be better in our run fit. And Kane Wommak, you need to come up with a defensive scheme to stop a running quarterback. You also need to come up with a defensive scheme to stop Georgia's screen pass. The run game and that screen pass, that is their bread and butter. If you can stop those two things, I have no doubt that Alabama will be victorious on Saturday. But Kane Wommak, you know I have my doubts when it comes to you, your game planning, and your play calling. Can you make me proud this Saturday? I hope so. But anyway, keep it going. Kane Wommak says, every team is working to get better, and those are the things that I told our guys. Everyone has issues right now. It's still early, so that's true. But everyone's got to work to get themselves better. I think our run fits are improving as we go. I don't think we are where we want to be. And certainly, I think there are some things that we put on tape that we're going to have to answer for as we go down the season. Things I imagine that Georgia and other teams in the SEC are going to try to expose. We want to make sure we have a plan for those things. But I think our guys have been very locked in. The work we've done thus far. Okay, every team. Well, I ain't going to say every team. I'm sure that those Georgia Bulldogs is going to come into this game locked in also. That's one thing you got to remember, Kane Wommak. Them Georgia Bulldogs going to be locked in. And I'm sure those Georgia Bulldogs is tired of hearing about this 1-9 record against Alabama. I'm sure Kirby Smart and his Georgia Bulldogs is tired of hearing about this 1-6 record against Alabama. I'm sure of that. And I'm sure they want to get their revenge. Nick Saban is gone, okay? That was their moniker. You ain't got Nick Saban no more. And then we wind up beating them in Tuscaloosa. Now, Kane Wommak, not Kane Wommak, but Kalen DeBoer in Alabama is going into Kirby Smart and those dogs' house in Athens, Sanford Stadium, to try to beat them again. And you know them Georgia Bulldogs is gonna be locked in. Not only because it's Alabama, but because they want to defend their home win streak, which sits at 33 straight wins at home. That's where it sits. 33 straight. Will it get to 34? Or will Alabama break that streak too? Because you remember Alabama broke their 29-game win streak Okay, but now they got a 33 game home win streak. Can Alabama break that streak? We'll find out on Saturday. That's for sure. Okay, but anyway, keep it moving. One thing the Bulldogs have shown on tape is that they will not venture away from the run, no matter what the circumstances is. No, they won't venture away from the run. The run, like I said, the run and that screen pass is their bread and butter. Despite being down by multiple scores at halftime against Tennessee, Georgia continued to stick with the run rather than abandon it. The Bulldogs ran the ball 55 times against Tennessee and finished with 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'm telling you, these guys getting damn near 200 yards. Well, one game, they ran over 200 yards, closer to 3. And then these other 2 games, they got damn near 200 yards. So that run game is on point for them Georgia Bulldogs. When you think about this team, this is what Kane Wommak saying. When you think about this team, they're tough, gritty, their backs run hard, they're physical, and so it's ultimately going to be about bringing a grown man to the ground and the physicality that it takes to do it over and over, because I think Coach Bobo does a really good job staying committed to the run game as the game goes on, and those are like body blows in a boxing match. You got to be able to match pound for pound for as many times as they want to run the ball. And you damn right, all of them runs are like body blows, wearing out that defense, wearing them down, especially that front 7. You wear down that front 7, damn near every time you run the ball, you're going to get to the second level of the defense. Come on now. And that's what Georgia does. They wear a defense down, and Alabama's defense, especially the front 7, got to be ready, and they got to be able to match the physicality. Hopefully, this Alabama defensive line can do what they did to Georgia last season. Okay, hopefully Alabama can expose the right side of that offensive line. But like I said, they seem to only have a problem on that right side in pass protection, not when it comes to running the ball. Okay, so everybody, even the secondary, got to be ready for these runs. And I'm going to tell you right now, Deontay Lawson, you might need to sit this one out, because you a little wobbly. Got a whole lot of question marks about you. Let some of them young guys get in there. The ones that's 100%. As I said, I want to see QB Reese. That's a real dog, baby. He got that dog in him. But anyway, he's young, but hey, it is what it is. A see ball, get ball. That's all I want to see. See ball, get ball. My thing with Alabama, this would be my game plan. I'm going to put everything into stopping that run and that screen pass. Take that away. Take that away. And let's see what Gunner got. Let's see what he got. Okay. But anyway, keep it moving. This is a very important piece, okay, to this game. Gunner Stockton has been incorporated into Georgia's rushing attack from his quarterback position. And the Alabama defense has not done well against running quarterbacks under Wommak. The most recent example was Florida State game when Thomas Castellanos ran 16 times for 78 yards and a touchdown. Castellanos also only threw the ball 14 times because Florida State was running the ball at will and creating explosive plays. So far, Stockton has carried the ball 28 times for 124 yards and 3 touchdowns, and his toughness shows up on tape. His toughness showed up on tape last year. I believe that was against was it Texas when he came in the SEC championship game, and they put a hit on his ass, knocked his helmet off and everything, and he got right back up, ready to go the next play. But anyway, this is the thing. Gunner Stockton can run, and they call design quarterback runs, okay? And Alabama can't stop it. Now, this is one thing I can say. Last year, when Alabama beat Georgia in Tuscaloosa, Kirby Smart, Mike Bobo didn't know Alabama had that issue. Because guess what? We played 2 cupcakes in Wisconsin before we played Georgia last year. We didn't face a running quarterback before we faced Georgia last year. We got to Georgia. Carson Beck wasn't a running quarterback. But after that, Vandy, issues. Oklahoma, issues with running quarterbacks. Who was it? Diego Pavia. And that guy down there in freaking Athens that just got sacked 10 times, I might add. Yeah, Oklahoma sacked his ass 10 times. Jackson Arnold. But anyway, Jackson Arnold, Diego Pavia ran all over Alabama. Couldn't stop nothing they wanted to do. Just like in week 1 of this season, Thomas Castellanos did the same thing. So now Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo knows this. And I can guarantee you they're going to use it against Alabama, and they're going to try to expose that issue once again. They're going to make sure to see if Alabama fixed that issue. And if Alabama, Kane Wommak ain't fixed that issue, that's exactly the game plan that Georgia is going to have, the offensive game plan. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It worked with everybody else. It worked with Vandy. It worked with Oklahoma. It worked with Florida State. So let's see if it worked for us. That would be my offensive game plan coming into this game. Then I see Alabama and fixed it. That's when I'm going to go to the regular run game, my screen pass, my bread and butter. But I'm going to see if they fix that issue first on their defense. And guess what? If you go to your bread and butter enough, and then you go back to that, it'll work. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Because like I said, last year Bobo and Kirby Smart didn't know it. Nobody knew it until we got to Vandy. And then the same way with Oklahoma. Then the same way we couldn't stop the run with Michigan. Same way we couldn't stop the run with freaking Florida State. With these running QBs. So George, I'm telling you that's what Georgia going to do. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Because guess what? They haven't shown that they can stop it. But anyway, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Kane Wommak's words. I think they do a really good job with Gunner in the run game. It's just enough to keep you honest. You see the game. You see the run game at the right time, certainly. Third downs and red zones. And those are the things that will always be the case for offenses. He's a physical kid. He's tough, talking about Gunner. He's gritty. He's willing to get yards. In the read game, he makes the right decisions the vast majority of the time. He has certainly brought an element to their run game that maybe they didn't have as much with Carson Beck a year ago. And I think something that certainly we're going to have to account for. You damn right you're going to have to account for Gunner Stockton running. It's a reason why they call design runs. Yeah, you're going to have to account for that. And I hope you come up with something, Kane Wommak, because you just said you're going to have to account for that. You knew you had to account for the run game with Thomas Castellanos. I would think by watching film, you would have knew that you would have to account for the run game with Diego Pavia and Jackson Arnold last year, because Jackson Arnold didn't have a lick of wide receivers last year when he was at Oklahoma. So I hope it didn't show that you accounted for that last year and in game 1 of this year. So I hope by you saying this, you can come up with a game plan to stop it. And I don't think that game plan is that 4-2-5. That's just me. Try a 4-3 out. But anyway, it is what it is, man. But Getting defensive tackle Tim Keenan back on the field will be a huge boost for the Alabama defense and help the Tide be stronger versus the interior run game. But players on the perimeter will need to play at an extremely high level and deliver the boom on downhill tackles. Now, I know one guy that'll do that, and he goes by the name of Bray Hubbard. Another guy that's coming off the bench that I know will do that, okay? And he goes by the name of Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., okay? So, Kane Wommak, I'm not nervous about the offense, not Alabama's offense. I'm nervous about Kane Wommak and his defense. And because I want to see how he approach this game. And I'll say the first two drives will tell the story. That's what I think. First two drives, Georgia's first two drives I'm talking about, will tell the story of how Kane Wommak is approaching this game defensively. Okay? Hopefully, I won't be sitting here stressed out, and you know how it is with Kane Wommak. So hey, it is what it is, man. So y'all just put y'all comments in the comment section or y'all opinions. Let me know what y'all think. Alabama fans and Georgia fans. And if you ain't a fan of Alabama or Georgia, you can still put your comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about this game. My preview and prediction will be coming out real soon, okay? So, but just let me know what y'all think about Kane Wommak and this Alabama defense and this Georgia run game. And with Georgia, do y'all think they'll be balanced? Say if they get 70 plays, 38 runs to, 32 passes. I don't think it'll be that way, but I think Gunner would throw at least, if this is a close game, I think Gunner would throw at least 20 to 25 passes if it's a close game. But if Alabama get a lead on them by 10 points, maybe 14, I think Gunner will throw a lot more. But if it's a back and forth game, I think it'll be a lot more running on Georgia's part. But another thing, I think Georgia offensively is going to play keep away. Just try to establish that run game and run that and run time off the clock. 7, 8, 9-minute drives. I think that's what Georgia's going to do. 12, 13 play drives. Shit like that. So keep Alabama offense off the field. That's a recipe for winning. Now, one thing Alabama got to do, they got to win the third downs. They got to get this team off the field on third down. We got to do that, okay? Got to play disciplined football. We got to eliminate some of these penalties that we've been getting. Because I think in every game we have more penalties than the opponent. So we need to eliminate some of these penalties. But that's it. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all be blessed. Remember, KB don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, and roll damn Tide.